Hello, welcome back. This is Chaff Commander Coffee with another episode of Dominions4, Thrones of Ascension, RandomNationGen. And in this episode, we have our first arena deathmatch. So this might take a bit longer. I do want to watch all of the fights, see what kind of units each nation that participated may be fielding in their armies. It's useful information. Although I will go through the events in order, and I'll deal with I'll probably deal with the arena last. So, Juman has found a magic site in Behemoth's Rest. He found a brigand lair. Now this is one of the sites that produces unrest. It increases unrest by 5 and enables the recruitment of villains. Villains are these units here. 10 gold, 5 resources, very, very low morale. But they are very, very cheap archers. They also have mountain and forest survival. I mean, I doubt I'm going to train them, but I have access to them there. My nature mage found no magic sites. And Solve found no magic sites in his random search of Pustinia. There was a battle in Muspel, which is this Throne of Ascension over here, which I just moved my scout to, which was a good idea. We got to see Modi actually conquering the throne and see what kind of units they field to do that with. A lot more foul spawn again. It appears, I believe in NationGen, if you train a foul spawn unit, they can spawn as one of 3 different variations for each category of foul spawn unit that you have. So these heavy foul spawn light ogre infantry, I believe there's 3 variations of these, or 2 variations of them. I mean, there's one here which has a double touch of leprosy. That's a sacred unit. There's this one, which has a weakness tentacle, a paralyze, and venomous bites and claws. And there's this one, which has a short sword and a great club, as well as venomous fangs. So they have 3 kinds of these ogres, and I believe these archers, there's 3 different kinds of them. One with a short bow. They have, one with a short bow, one with a light crossbow. I believe there's one with a crossbow, a normal crossbow as well. Oh no, these are heavy crossbowmen, and those are archers, and these crossbowmen here are heavy archers. These are just crossbowmen. Some heavy crossbowmen, and some longbowmen as well. Modi has quite a diverse roster, and these are flying foul spawn as well. Some of them are sacred, so they have sacred heavy ogre foul spawn, wielding some pretty nasty weapons versus my demons, and then some flying sacreds as well. Modi is going to be a very unpredictable nation to fight because the foul spawn have such a wide variety of equipment that they can spawn with. But I think what happens here is, the wizard here, he takes a hit, his fatigue is too high to cast any spells. And as soon as this wizard routs, it's pretty much over. More than half the army dies and the rest of them rout, so the archers managed to win the day for Modi. Just about. There's an unexpected event has occurred in Golem Range. Another fertility festival. An unexpected event has occurred in Saltnoham. A cult of Gaia has gained foothold among the people. It reduced my dominion by 3 inside of my capital, which is really bad, but it did improve its growth. The dominion loss is pretty annoying. I think that event can eventually spiral into the cult of Gaia, gaining its own profit and then acting as a heretic within your lands. So I may need to keep an eye on the capital. An unexpected event has occurred in Black, another fertility festival, and in Menace, there was a trade boom in the province. 252 gold. It's pretty good. We're still trying to destroy the gates in Mexico, and suddenly Badawi, the hero, appeared at the gates of your fortress and wanted to fight for your cause. We have Badawi. He is one of NationGen's randomly generated heroes. He is a spellcaster, quite similar to my Pontifexes, except instead of having earth magic, he has air magic, as well as an extra point of fire magic. He rides an ant instead of flying, so he is one of my only map movement 2 characters, which is kind of annoying. However, he does have glamour stealthy, which is pretty good. The only problem with him is he is old age 66, and we have him right now, which means he is quite likely to die. So what I'm going to do with him is just start sending him out to site search, because to be honest, he's probably going to die before I get to make any real use out of him, unless my construction research boosts up nice and quickly. So I'm going to have him move towards Mexico. That way, if I do get my construction complete and get some Boots of Youth, I can give them to him first. So he's going to move towards Mexico, just searching sites on the way, and then hopefully I'll have enough Blood Slaves and a Boot of Youth ready for him when he reaches Mexico. It's going to take one turn to reach Valgard and then search it, and another turn to reach Ablak and search it. And I may even cross over into Silver Swamp and search, say, Valadon and Brightgate, and then to go to Mexico. But he is going to be site searching for the time being. Right. I'm going to, in fact, I'm going to give all my commanders orders. Have this scout wait there on Muspel, just to see if they build a castle there. It would be nice to know if they build a castle there. The throne here, we can see Ermazar has expanded into the chambers underneath, and the throne is fairly lightly defended with militias, light infantry, and long dead horsemen. Now, long dead horsemen can be quite nasty since they have fear, but the militias and light infantry are of no concern. So I'll have our scout. I think I'm going to have the scout move into the chambers underneath, just to keep an eye on any serious advance into the underground that Ermazar attempts. My site searches here are just going to carry on. Solve. Now there's only 70 wolf tribe here now. However, I did move this army to go pick up reinforcements, which they're going to do now. Just going to move him straight back. This should be a significant enough force to immediately just take the throne. And also be prepared to defend against Syria. Their Dominion is building very, very quickly around here. They do have 2 temples active right next to each other. So I'm going to need to start getting some temples built around this particular part of the map. Probably get one in Lilithor immediately, as soon as I capture it. I have a scout in Golem range who I wanted to move east. This scout here is going to move into Mir. That gives me a pretty decent vision of all of the lands that Ermazar owns around its capital. My prophet here was going to build a temple, just to improve my dominion gain over my borders here, both between Syria and also between Lunawatia. I have just 2 more commanders. I have a mounted commander here who's not doing anything. I'm going to give him the sacred goblins and the archers that are stored here, and I think they would be best used in Fustinia as well. So we're going to have quite a powerful force. We're going to have a total of over 150 goblins, including Solve, which is going to make this throne no problem to capture at all. So that will be, I can tell you, it will be our first Throne of Ascension in this game. Now he just finished crafting a jar of fire, I think. Yeah. I'm going to get him to craft another one. Yeah, this wizard is probably just going to sit here crafting items as and when I need them. Whilst I have a good fire gem income, I can make one fire-based item per turn, and it won't actually affect my gem income. And sitting on 54 fire gems is pretty solid. I can cast most powerful fire rituals with 50 fire gems. So I have no reason not to, start spending them. And I can't, and since I focused on construction research, I can't conjure anything like monsters to use, so I should just craft useful items. Well, since Solve couldn't actually find any magic sites in Festinio, I think he's just going to patrol with Narek, because I will want him there for the next turn. Just going to take a quick look over mercenaries since I have no more commanders to use. Now I'm not sure where the best place for the mercenaries would be, if I do hire any. Oh, this is interesting. So Farwald, this was one of the Throne of Gaia events. I believe it was Earth Elementals and Earth Gnomes attacked the Desert of the Cliff Dwellers and actually captured it. Which means that I need to either start putting province defense in mountains as well as forests. I think that is what I need to do, because here, the Desert of the Cliff Dwellers, this is a border mountain, and Muspel, it wasn't Muspel, it was, Jelania Gora, I saw an attack here of Earth Gnomes as well, so I think border mountains can also spawn that sort of event. So I'm going to, now given this province gets War Elephants as a defense, I'm actually going to boost it to 20, that way it gets 2 War Elephants, and that should be more than enough for any Earth Elementals decide to attack. Golem Range already has a castle and border mountains, so it has quite a large garrison. They're all goblins, unfortunately, but that's better than the, that is better than Lion Tribe. I'll take the goblins over the Lion Tribe, okay. And Behemoth's Rest also has mountains, so I am worried this may also get attacked. And since it has a Brigand Lair, which is currently increasing its unrest, and I have a Dominion of Turmoil, I'm going to boost the province defense here as well. I'm going to boost it all the way to 30, just to keep those brigands under control. It is only a mountain, so it's not providing much income, but it is providing resources for Golem Range. So I'd like to keep this province under control so that Golem Range has a higher resource output. Now, with the little gold that I have left, I don't think I'm going to spend it fortifying any of my lands too much more. I am just cautious about that, the Throne of Gaia causing me to lose a lot of my land whilst I'm busy preparing for a major war. And once this war is over, this is why I want to focus all of my attention on this war with Syria, and pushing Lunawatia back over the sea. And the reason for that is, once I control this, I am hemmed in by mountains which people cannot cross. I have very strong choke points into all of my land, which means I'll have sort of a central kingdom which is safe for me to amass armies, magical research, and magical gems. It will all be safe. I can build it up, and it will produce a lot of gold and a lot of soldiers, and allow me to really plan how I'm going to take the rest of the thrones in the game, since that is how you win. It's not about conquering everyone else. In this game mode, I have to control a total of 12 ascension points. There is 1 level 3 throne, there are 5 level 2 thrones, and I believe there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 level 1 thrones. So I think I have about 25, is it 25? No, 23 points available. So you need to own 51% of the throne points to win the game, more or less. And I'm starting to think if this is the level 3 throne, and I grab these 2 level 1 thrones, I'm only going to need 6 more points to win. Not 6, but 7 more points to win. And 7 points, there's probably a level 2 throne here. So that's and then this one is probably a level 1 throne. This throne most likely to be a level 1 throne. So if I capture the underground and just this, I'll only need, say, 3 more ascension points or so to actually win. And there's this throne right here, which is an underwater one. So after conquering my immediate zone, I'm actually very, very close to winning the game. However, if I wanted to, just to extend the game, I could choose to not capture the thrones after I take control of them. Just to actually cement victory by taking every province as well. But that depends how well I'm doing and whether I actually can be bothered to go that far. Or some of the armies will be... they will take many, many, many battles to defeat. Oh, that late on, they will. They will indeed. Right, now back to mercenaries. I do want to just take a look at them, even if I won't recruit them. Bone of the Brave gets a unit of... is it crossbowmen? I think it's crossbowmen. 30 crossbowmen for 220 gold, and whoever owns them right now, Farwald owns all the mercenaries, so I'm starting to think they might be one of the nations that spawned with a cost reduction to mercenaries. I think that's something that your nation can generate with. So they might be very easily bidding for them. They also have a unit of what are they? The Pale Ones? Pale Ones of Agartha, which are amphibious. The Quick Spears are available for only 150 gold. Amory commands 20 men. And the Lions still have 2 months on their contract. They have lost 11 men, so they are currently engaged in quite bloody conflict. They're not getting out of that contract without swinging those swords. What I'm going to do is, with the rest of the treasury, I'm going to recruit a level 1 mage in Saltnaham, just to keep my mage base quite central right now. I'm not sure if Golem Range is currently safe yet to start mass producing wizards, since it is on my border, and it is only province defense 20. And with Modi having taken this throne, unless they choose to expand further north, their only real expansion opportunity is to the south, which means either going through me or Emozar. Now, it's hard to tell which one they would prefer until I can see their army, so I will play it safe and just train the wizards in Saltnaham. But I will spend just the 155 gold, which is just slightly over the asking price for these mercenaries. I may win them. I doubt it, but if I don't win them, the money will just be refunded to me next turn. And 150 gold, I would only train... I would like to train my sacreds. So I'm effectively bidding on these mercenaries in favour of training these sacreds. I think that is a good idea, because I can use the mercenaries as basically cannon fodder to take all of the archer fire for this instead of my goblins. Because I don't care if the mercenaries die. So yes, that will be the plan. If we get the mercenaries, they will be the vanguard. And the vanguard is not a good place to be when you're fighting a very large force of archers. No, it's not a good place to be. Especially if those archers are supported by some secret hidden wizards that cast Wind Guide and flaming arrows, and yeah, the mercenaries will get slaughtered. Anyway, that's the turn. It will be the end of the episode, but I will be ending it. There's going to be a part 2 to this summer, because I want to show off the arena. Now, the arena happens periodically throughout the game. You have the option to send champions. Now, I sent one, but only because you have to send one the turn that it is announced. If you don't, you miss it. And I thought, well, I don't actually have any fighters that I want to send, so I will just equip a wizard with a Scepter of Authority and just try and have him combust a few combatants to death. However, the first battle does not go very well, and our fighter is unfortunately slain. He goes straight up against this, yes, a centaur general who just runs up and chops his head off for 35 damage. He does manage to hit him with the combust, but he only does 1 damage, which is a shame since the centaur actually isn't wearing any armor. So if this centaur had perhaps like one fire magic, and he just sat there casting fireflies. We might have won that, but unfortunately not. He just came in and killed our pygmy wizard with absolutely no issue at all. So we will not be winning the arena, but it didn't actually cost me anything really. It's only 40 gold and a scepter of authority. I don't really care that much. And, well, we tried. We tried. We did 1 damage. That 1 damage I don't think makes a difference, but you never know. So we'll view the rest of the battles just to see what the different nations are fielding. So this is Napskibos. Napskibos is fielding this Centaur General. As I said, he actually has no armor. He only wields a shield and a hood. He has no body armor, so he's actually very easy to kill if you can land a hit. Although he does have a defense skill of 16 base. Centaurs generally do have very high defense skill. As well as having 2 attacks, a recuperation, not being a terrible general either, he's quite inspirational. Whereas this is the Prophet of Lunawatia. So the Prophet of Lunawatia is a Bandar. I believe it's just a Bandar priest. I think it's just like a level 1 priest that they profited. So he engages with the Centaur. He gets diseased, weakened, and one of his arms chopped off pretty much immediately in the fight, so this Prophet is pretty much dead. However, his spell, which he casts, Holy Avenger, that casts a smite whenever he takes damage, and the final smite to hit the Centaur does actually kill it, so both champions die in that fight. So I guess we have our vengeance on Napskibos for that first battle. I mean, we did start the arena off, but that was a very one-sided fight. I believe that was kind of rigged. Bloody arena masters rigging the fights. Rigging it just for show. They wanted a bloody battle where they saw a pygmy get crushed by a centaur. And that is indeed what happened. Here we have, I believe this is... I'm going to have to check it again. I think that was Modi's... Yeah, this is Modi's Foulspawn Assassin versus one of Syria's wizards. Now, this is the kind of wizard we're going to go up against quite shortly. Chaditsu the Blight Ascendant. Dustwalkers are risen ancients entombed by long-dead desert dynasties. Their bony, leathery bodies are surrounded by a dry, parching wind. They have firepower, more powerful in hot provinces. Now, Modi's domain is, not Modi's, Syria's domain is very hot, whereas mine is very cold. So when they're attacking us, they're going to be quite weak, especially since their main magic path is fire. So their magic will be reduced significantly when they attack us. However, if we attack them, they are going to be very powerful. They also have a heat aura, which is more intense during hot lands. Weaker in cold ones, so again, they're going to be stronger when defending their lands and weaker when attacking our lands. Although, on the plus side, my fire wizards will be more powerful when attacking, so although their wizards will be much more powerful, mine will be able to at least make a difference, even with only one fire magic, so I'm going to have to do some evocation research fairly soon. We can see that being a Dustwalker, he is undead. So again, I can actually banish his commanders, which means that his commanders are very vulnerable to massed priests. So I will have to do some priest sabbathing to... I think priest sabbathing is probably my best way of dealing damage. Rather than doing evocation research, I should do blood magic research. Create a sabbath to make a high-level wizard, and then and that high-level wizard will also increase his priest skill. And then with that priest skill, he can banish hundreds of the undead and smash Syria's armies without any trouble. And I can get many of them to do that. I can have, for example, if I have 4 communion slaves, I can have as many pontifexes as I want as Sabbath Masters. Literally as many as I want. And all of them will become level 3 priests. I think I only need 4 slaves for that. I might take 6, just to be on the safe side. But the slaves will never tire out because banishment costs no fatigue. So for the start of combat, I can cast 4 banishments on all these level 3 priests, and then as soon as they're finished casting banishments, they can go straight to using fire magic or blood magic, depending on what they prefer. Or they might just carry on banishing them, or casting sermons of courage and things like that. And if I add enough slaves to the communion, then the masters will be able to become level 4 priests, and then they can cast fanaticism, which is just an amazing spell, and they can also cast, I think they can cast Word of Faith, which paralyzes unbelievers. So either way, very powerful spells. This fight actually ends immediately. Syria, I believe, he just throws fire darts and hits 3 of them, and the assassin dies immediately. So the Blight Ascendant wins there. There was a battle in the arena here between Moknos attacking Emorzar. Moknos is sending a hero into combat. Emorzar being the Avite Giants, this is one of their wizards. Their wizards are also priests, and they are Death 2 mages, which is very scary, and Earth Magic. Earth Magic is very useful, so I know for a fact that Emorzar has strong priests, strong Death Magic, and access to probably quite strong Earth Magic as well, which is kind of scary. I don't really have any not scary neighbours, because something I forgot to mention about the Dustwalker wizard we saw, he had Astral Magic as well, which means that he can create a communion with a bunch of other wizards like that and improve their fire magic. So we might see some really high level, I mean we probably won't, magic research is difficult, so I doubt the AI will have any very high level battlefield magic, but even still, a level 4 fire mage casting fireballs, he can cast many more fireballs, and they're a lot more powerful, so any increase to their fire magic via communion is dangerous. Yeah, the Minotaur just charges in. He takes a rock to the face, given that he's wearing very little armor, but that only causes him to go berserk. This is actually quite a powerful hero. He's not a very good commander, but he's recuperating, so you don't need to worry about afflictions on him. And Berserker 5 is very strong. Every time he is wounded, his protection increases by 5. And his attack skill increases by 5, his defense skill drops by 5. However, having 28 hit points, if he was equipped with some solid armor, like even just black steel, if he was equipped with black steel full plate, he would still end up with 26 protection when he berserked, with an attack skill of 18, or 20 with his current weapon. His current weapon being a cursed bronze spear, which has the ability to halt sacred units. It's also armor negating, so he can pierce through any armor. Protection does not help at all. Against the halt sacred skill, this will always hit, regardless of how much armor you're wearing, and it paralyzes whoever's hit by it if they are sacred. So magic resistance can negate it, and thankfully my goblins have higher than average magic resistance. So if I have to fight this hero, he can just trample, being a Minotaur, all over my goblins, but he won't be able to, he might not be able to halt my sacred units quite so easily. So yeah, that was the battle between, was that Syria and Moknos? No, this is the battle between Syria and Moknos. So the Minotaur again fighting the Dustwalker wizard. The Dustwalker wizard casting Twist Fate there. The first successful attack against this unit will be negated, which is quite interesting. He does manage to land a solid Fireball, no, a Flame Bolt. Fireball is a Circle 3 spell, Flame Bolt is only Circle 2. So we know Syria has Circle 2 evocation magic. The arena is very useful to spy on your opponents. Never forget that. There is good information to be had, even if you don't win or kill anyone, like I have. I mean, you can view the fights even if you don't send a combatant, but as I said, I might have been able to kill someone of importance that perhaps could have won the arena instead, but that's not the case. It's not the case. The person we fought ended up dying, killing the person that he fought. Although thinking about that, the Prophet of Lunawatia did just die, so Lunawatia is in a weak position, so I may have to quickly just grab their land on my side of the river or sea, and they won't be able to retaliate. I can push their Dominion back very, very easily because they won't have a Prophet awake or available because he's dead, which will be good. So it turns out that the Minotaur has the ability to shapeshift into a werewolf when he drops to 0 hit points, hence surviving the firebolt for 30 damage. This hero is a lot scarier than it looks, and he's about to get a lot more scarier. And you'll see why in a moment. This is a Sacred Temple Master from Farwald, so this is Farwald's Sacred Commander. They are very powerful leaders with 120 units they can lead, including 40 demons or undead and 40 magic beings, with a +2 morale bonus. We do get to see Farwald's Bless, since he blessed himself, and they have no major magic paths. And they also have no Thrones of Ascension. So, yeah. Farwald's sacred units are probably not going to be very, very scary. They are basically slightly more skilled human heavy infantry right now, although they do have slash resistant. Although my army has a preference for piercing weapons, for spears and javelins and bows. We do have swordsmen and our Colossi axemen, but I believe the majority of my army has a preference for piercing weapons, so these guys might not be quite as dangerous as they look, since piercing weapons counter high protection by being able to pierce some of its value. The giant wins. He only hits for 7 damage and kills, which means he got a headshot, which is a 10% chance, so this Swordmaster might be luckier than he is skillful, considering his stats weren't actually that much better than Farwald's fighter. Hefob is attacking Limor, so we have our Swordmaster here against a, I believe this is a level 1 Enki Priest. I believe these are the Enki, or Enkidu, which are people. They're kind of like cavemen. He is ambidextrous. He wields a quarterstaff though, he's not wielding 2 weapons. He has a chest wound currently, so he will fatigue out. His Bless, so Hefob's Bless is 6 fire magic, possibly 7. Death magic 4 or 5, can't remember which. And nature magic 5. I think that's nature magic 5, yeah. So that's, and he could have other magic paths, but that's the ones we know for sure. So they engage. Now, given that he's blessed, I expected this guy to win because he did have a very high defense skill. Or at least a fairly decent defense skill. But it turns out the Swordmaster only takes 1 hit. He is weakened, which is very annoying for a giant since it puts him down to, or an Avite. He's now not much stronger than a human. But he does manage to win. However, as we've seen of this hero from Moknos, this hero, Limor, or Linos, sorry, is very powerful. Very powerful. He's not particularly... He is weakened as well, so both of them have quite low strength scores. In fact, something that's quite funny, both of these, this giant here and this Minotaur, since they're both weakened, they're actually a lot weaker than my Goblin hero. But yes, Linos does manage to defeat the Swordmaster and claim victory over the arena. Congratulations to Linos, the hero, who won the arena deathmatch in the name of Ramez, god of Moknos, the loyal master, master of flames, king of rivers. Champion's Trident was awarded as a prize. Now, the Champion's Trident will replace the weapon that he had, the Cursed Bronze Spear. So he has a different weapon. However, the Champion's Trident is quite a powerful weapon. It's pretty good, and considering that a hero now has it, the hero of Moknos, I think he might even be on the Hall of Fame. Yes, he is now. After that arena match, he has become Volanus' most famous hero, Linos of Moknos. And he has the Champion's Trident, though he will now have to defend his title in the arena. But will he be able to defend it successfully? Oh, we'll have to find out later, when the next arena deathmatch is scheduled. However, in light of the arena deathmatch, and knowing exactly what we're going to go up against, or at least more or less, unless Linos gets sent out by his god to fight in battle and he dies in battle, I think we can expect. There's actually a lot of heroes who have been killed over the past couple of turns. Most of them mercenaries. Dante died, Hannibal died, Sir Gwifrey, and Gunther Bluckraft. Offa was a halberd commander, I think. He was the Prophet of Farwald, actually. So I think the Prophet of Farwald is dead, including 4 mercenary captains. Anyway, yes, I'm planning on, now that our construction magic is very close to being level 4, I'm going to recruit a barbarian chieftain in Valadon and move him into Mexico. And I'm going to outfit him with some mighty equipment so that he can participate in the arena. And since he is a berserker, once taking a wound he will never rout, so he will fight to the death. As well as having higher than average human stats and not being that expensive to recruit. I think he will make a fine, you know, thug to throw into the arena. I won't give him anything particularly interesting. I'll probably just give him some anti-fire magic equipment, some armor, since I have a lot of fire gems. And I'll probably find some more fire gems as I carry around. So yeah, that is what I will be doing to participate in the next arena conflict. However, I think that will be the end of this video. It was quite long. I did want to go over the arena in full detail. So this is part 1. At least I... No, it isn't. What am I talking about? It is fall in year 2 of the Ascension Wars. Not summer, I was about to say summer. But I will be leaving it here. Part 2 of fall will come later. No exciting battles upcoming, so it should be a quick turn into the late fall and then winter, where we will conclude the second year of the Ascension Wars, hopefully with a few thrones of Ascension under our control. And we start thinking about expanding outwards. It's been Chaff Commander Coffee. Thanks for watching.